Losing a spouse isn't just heartbreaking, it's life-altering. It shakes the very foundation of your world. Suddenly, the routines you shared, the quiet conversations over coffee, and the feeling of someone always having your back are all gone in an instant. And in the midst of this emotional earthquake, life keeps demanding decisions. Do you sell the house? Should you move closer to family? What do you do with their belongings? Is it too soon to even think about dating again? If you've recently lost your husband or wife, or even if that loss happened years ago, you've likely felt the pressure to do something quickly. But here's the truth. Not every decision made in grief is a wise one, and some of the most well-meaning advice can lead to lasting regret. That's why in this video, we're going to gently walk through 5 common decisions you should pause before saying yes to after your spouse passes away. These aren't just tips. They're cautionary insights shared by those who've walked this road and looked back, wishing they had done things differently. If you're in this season of life or love someone who is, this may be one of the most important videos you'll watch. Because avoiding these 5 emotional pitfalls isn't just about protecting your finances or possessions. It's about protecting your peace of mind and giving yourself the grace to heal at your own pace. So if you've ever found yourself asking, "What now?" stay with me. These next few minutes may give you the clarity, reassurance, and quiet strength you didn't even realize you needed. 1. Don't make big financial decisions too soon. When you're grieving, everything feels urgent. There's this quiet pressure to take care of things, to organize the paperwork, close accounts, downsize the house, and make sense of the mess that life has suddenly become. But here's something you may not hear enough. It's okay to wait. In fact, when it comes to major financial decisions, waiting is often the wisest move you can make. After losing a spouse, many people feel an impulse to regain control by taking action. Any action. Selling the home, cashing out investments, gifting money to children or charities. It might feel like you're doing something productive in a time of chaos. But beneath that urge is often a fog of grief. And grief is a terrible advisor when it comes to your finances. One of the most common regrets among widows and widowers is moving too quickly. Whether it's downsizing to a new town or signing over assets before you fully understand your new financial reality, hasty choices can lead to long-term stress. And the truth is, most decisions don't need to be made right away. Financial planners often talk about the 1-year rule. That means postponing any irreversible financial decisions, like selling property or adjusting estate plans, until at least 12 months after your loss. Why? Because the first year is a whirlwind of emotional adjustment, and decisions made during emotional upheaval often reflect short-term pain, not long-term vision. Take a step back and give yourself breathing room. Instead of acting out of fear or pressure, create a holding period. Open a separate savings account if needed to park large sums temporarily. Consider meeting with a fiduciary financial advisor, someone legally obligated to act in your best interest, to assess your new income needs, future expenses, and risk tolerance. Also, beware of unsolicited financial advice. Sadly, many people, some well-meaning, others opportunistic, target widowed seniors, knowing they may be overwhelmed. If someone is rushing you to sign papers, invest in something urgent, or shift large amounts of money, that's a red flag. Always get a second opinion. Even better, bring a trusted family member or friend to those meetings to help you think clearly. And let's talk about generosity. Many people, after losing their spouse, feel a strong desire to give, especially to children, grandchildren, or causes their partner once loved. And giving is beautiful, but timing matters. Before you give anything away, make sure you understand your own financial picture first. You may live another 20 or 30 years. Your stability comes first. Remember, this isn't about being selfish. It's about being smart. You've already experienced a profound loss. The last thing you need is added financial strain. So take your time, grieve at your pace, let the fog lift. When you're ready, really ready, you'll make decisions from a place of clarity, not panic. And those are the choices you're least likely to regret. 2. Don't isolate yourself from friends and family. When you've lost someone you love deeply, especially a spouse, the world suddenly becomes quieter. That silence can feel unbearable. It's no surprise that many people retreat into themselves, avoiding phone calls, skipping family gatherings, and spending entire days in solitude. And here's the tricky part. It doesn't always feel like isolation. Sometimes it feels like self-protection, like you're guarding your heart from having to pretend you're okay when you're not. And to be fair, taking time alone is natural and even necessary, especially during the early stages of grief. But when solitude turns into a pattern, it becomes a silent thief of your well-being. Social withdrawal can easily spiral into chronic loneliness. And loneliness isn't just emotional, it affects your health too. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that long-term isolation in seniors is linked to higher risks of high blood pressure, heart disease, depression, cognitive decline, and even earlier death. It's not just about being alone, it's about losing the vital human connection that keeps your spirit alive. Staying connected doesn't mean you need to host dinner parties or force yourself into a crowd. Sometimes it's as simple as saying yes to a cup of coffee with your neighbor, or answering the phone when your daughter calls, even if you don't know what to say. Tiny moments of connection can interrupt the heaviness of grief just enough to let some light in. Consider this: being around people, even in quiet ways, can serve as gentle reminders that life is still unfolding, that there's laughter, love, and meaning outside of your pain. You don't have to be the life of the party. Just show up as you are. And if your friends or family don't fully understand what you're going through, that's okay. Few people truly get it unless they've been through it themselves. That's why grief support groups, both local and online, can be so powerful. Speaking with others who've experienced similar loss creates a kind of unspoken comfort. You don't have to explain your pain. They already know. Also, let's not forget the people who care about you the most may not know how to show it. They may stumble with their words or say the wrong thing, but often they just want to be there. Try not to shut them out completely. Let them walk beside you, even if it's just in silence. You deserve support, not because you're broken, but because you're human. So the next time someone reaches out, try to meet them halfway. Not for their sake, but for yours. Healing doesn't happen in isolation. It happens in small, shared moments. And those moments, as modest as they may seem, have the power to carry you through your darkest days. 3. Don't neglect your own health and well-being. When someone we love passes away, especially a spouse, it often feels like the world stops. But your body doesn't stop needing care just because your heart is hurting. In fact, your health needs more attention than ever. It's incredibly common for seniors to put their own well-being on hold during grief. You might skip meals, cancel doctor's appointments, or let your daily routines fall apart. Even small tasks like brushing your hair or preparing a balanced breakfast can feel pointless when you're emotionally exhausted. But here's the thing: grief and neglect often go hand in hand, and that can lead to serious consequences. Studies from institutions like the Mayo Clinic and Harvard Health show that bereavement can lead to elevated stress hormones, weakened immune response, high blood pressure, and even heart issues, especially for older adults. It's known in the medical community as the widowhood effect. That's how deeply grief can affect your physical body. But you still have a body that needs nourishment. You still have a heart that needs care. And you still have time, perhaps many more years ahead, that deserve to be lived in strength, not survival mode. Start small. If preparing meals feels overwhelming, consider batch cooking a few simple dishes on Sunday or signing up for a local senior meal delivery service. Keep healthy snacks like fruit, nuts, or yogurt easily accessible so you're not tempted to skip eating altogether. Hydration matters too. Many older adults forget to drink enough water, especially when grief suppresses appetite or causes fatigue. Try keeping a refillable bottle nearby and take small sips throughout the day. And don't underestimate the power of movement. Even a short 15-minute walk around your block can lift your mood and help regulate your sleep and appetite. If you're not ready to leave the house, consider gentle stretching or chair exercises. Physical activity not only improves your health, it can also be a form of emotional release. Medical appointments matter more now than ever. If you've been delaying checkups, reach out to your primary care physician and get back on track. Managing existing health conditions like diabetes, arthritis, or hypertension is a critical part of staying resilient through the grieving process. Mental health is just as essential. Grief isn't just sadness. It can bring anxiety, hopelessness, and even physical pain. There's no shame in talking to a therapist, joining a grief support group, or calling a helpline. Sometimes just saying your thoughts out loud can ease the weight you're carrying. Remember, taking care of yourself is not a betrayal of your spouse. It's a continuation of their love. You're still here, and that means you still matter. Your spouse would want you to keep living, not merely existing. And you can do that. One step, one glass of water, one gentle walk at a time. 4. Don't rush into a new relationship. After losing a spouse, one of the most unexpected feelings that can surface is loneliness so deep it feels physical. The silence in the house, the empty side of the bed, the absence of someone to share small daily routines. It's a quiet ache that never quite leaves. So it's completely human to crave connection again. Companionship, someone to talk to, someone to fill the gaps in your day and perhaps the hole in your heart. And while the desire for closeness is valid, rushing into a new relationship too soon can lead to confusion, regret, and even heartbreak all over again. Many older adults fall into relationships quickly, not because they're ready, but because they're trying to escape the grief. The early attention and emotional comfort can feel like a lifeline, but too often, these relationships are built on pain, not peace. They become a way to avoid feeling the loss rather than heal through it. Here's something important to remember. You are allowed to love again if and when you're truly ready. But real readiness comes from a place of reflection, not desperation. If you're still comparing every person to your spouse or feeling guilty just thinking about dating, that's a sign you might need more time. Grief is not a one-size-fits-all journey. Some people wait years before even considering dating again. Others may feel open to companionship sooner. But every healthy, meaningful relationship that comes after loss is grounded in personal healing, not emotional escape. There's also the practical side to consider. Unfortunately, some seniors become targets for emotional manipulation or financial exploitation during this vulnerable phase. If someone you've just met is pushing for a quick commitment, asking for money, or urging you to isolate from friends or family, those are clear red flags. Trust your instincts, take your time, and protect your peace. If companionship is what you crave, there are other ways to explore connection without diving into romance. Join a local club, attend a senior activity group, volunteer in your community, or rekindle old friendships. Shared laughter, good conversation, and meaningful company can be deeply fulfilling, even without romantic strings attached. And if love finds you again in time, that's something beautiful. But let it happen when your heart is whole, not when it's desperately searching for a bandage. The person you lost will always be a part of you. Moving forward doesn't mean forgetting. It means creating space in your life for joy again, even if it looks different than before. So don't rush. Let your healing set the pace. The right connection, should it come, will honor both your past and your future. 5. Don't hold on to everything without letting go. One of the most emotionally complex parts of losing a spouse is deciding what to do with their belongings. Every item, a sweater draped on a chair, a favorite coffee mug, a drawer full of notes, feels like a piece of the person you lost. Letting go of these things can feel like letting go of them all over again. That's why many widows and widowers hold on to everything: clothes, toiletries, even the way the furniture is arranged. It's not unusual to leave closets untouched or avoid redecorating for years. The thought of changing anything might seem like a betrayal, but here's the truth. Holding on to everything doesn't keep them close. It often keeps you stuck. Grief thrives in stillness, and sometimes a home frozen in time can become a museum of sorrow instead of a space for healing. That doesn't mean you should throw everything away, not at all. But learning to selectively let go can actually be a form of emotional release. Start by choosing just a few meaningful keepsakes, perhaps a wedding ring, a cherished photograph, or a handwritten card. Create a special memory box or shelf that honors their life. These mementos can offer comfort without overwhelming your living space with daily reminders of what's been lost. When you're ready, and only when you're ready, begin sorting through other items. You don't have to do it alone. Invite a trusted friend, a family member, or even a grief counselor to be with you during the process. Sometimes just having someone nearby makes the emotional weight feel lighter. You might even consider repurposing certain things into keepsakes. Some people turn shirts into memory quilts, recipes into framed kitchen art, or letters into a scrapbook. It's not about erasing the past. It's about transforming it into something that can live with you in the present. Also, don't let others rush you. Friends or relatives may encourage you to clean house or move on, often with good intentions. But you are the only one who can decide when the time is right. Healing is not a timeline, it's a process, and it looks different for everyone. Still, if you find yourself unable to touch anything even after a long period, or if the presence of these items is keeping you from engaging with life, it might be time to ask if holding on is helping or hurting. Are these belongings honoring your spouse, or are they becoming a barrier to your own healing? Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means making space, physically and emotionally, for what's still ahead. It's about shifting from a home of mourning to a home that holds both memory and renewal. Your spouse's love lives in your heart, not in a closet. You carry them with you in every step you take toward peace, and each small act of release is a step forward, one that opens the door to life, still full of meaning, even after loss. Losing a spouse is one of life's most personal and profound transitions. It touches every part of your identity, your routines, your future plans, even your sense of self. In the wake of such loss, the world can feel unfamiliar, and decisions that once seemed simple now carry heavy emotional weight. That's why it's so important to approach this season with care, patience, and compassion for yourself. We've talked about 5 common responses people have after a loss: rushing financial decisions, isolating from others, neglecting health, entering new relationships too quickly, and holding on to every possession. These choices are understandable, even human, but they can also add layers of difficulty to an already painful time. Avoiding them doesn't mean doing everything perfectly. It simply means giving yourself permission to slow down, to grieve fully, and to make decisions from a place of strength, not from pressure or panic. There is no handbook for grief, no calendar to follow. But every step you take, whether it's reaching out to a friend, preparing a healthy meal, or quietly sorting through memories, matters. Healing doesn't happen all at once. It happens moment by moment, day by day. And through it all, remember this: your life is not over. You still have meaning, purpose, and presence. The love you shared with your spouse can live on in the way you care for yourself, in the stories you pass down, and in the quiet courage you show by simply waking up each day and choosing to go on. So take your time, lean on others, and trust that even in this new chapter, there is still beauty ahead. If this video offered you comfort or clarity, we'd love to hear from you in the comments below.